Alright. Hey everyone. This is going to be a bit of a shorter and different stream. Ethan is currently camping, um, and he'll be back tomorrow, so he'll be here for the Wednesday stream. So it's just going to be me. Um, Normally, what we're planning on doing is on Mondays, we're going to try to do a more design-focused stream because we don't plan to work on weekends, obviously. And so not much progress would have been made between the Friday stream and the Monday stream. So going forward after today's stream, we're going to be trying to have the Monday streams focus on like designing something. Like I think next week's stream we're going to try to design the logo for the game, and other streams past that might end up involving like just general like gameplay design stuff, talking, conversations, stuff like that, not really focused on showing stuff off. But for today's stream, I'm just gonna show off a few things that I did over the weekend, and then I'll talk about what I'm personally going to do moving forward, and then I have an idea of what Ethan's gonna do moving forward, but we have to have a conversation tomorrow whenever he gets back. Um, so over the past weekend, if you watched the stream from last Friday, you probably saw that there were a lot of bugs and wacky stuff going on that was not intentional and that we had working before the stream but then stopped working shortly before the stream. I ended up doing some digging and I figured out what was causing the issues so I can properly demonstrate now what we were trying to show off last week. And then I'll also demonstrate some stuff that I worked on over the weekend. Um, so first things first, I'm going to start up the game. Um, and one of the things we were trying to show off last week was these spawners. So they were not spawning last week. So what I did is there was a mismatch between the server and the client that was creating this issue where, hold on 1 second. I'm streaming. Sorry, I'm busy. So what we ended up doing is there was a mismatch between the client and the server, um, and so I fixed that, and I think that was just an unintentional thing. We used these directives within our code to define server and client code, and there were some things wrapped in a server directive that should have been included in both the server and the client, and it was causing this mismatch. But so anyway, you can spawn these spawners now, and what they'll do is they'll just spawn the units at that position. Um, the units will spawn at the closest spawner to them. Currently there's only one, so all units will spawn there. We also, last week, were demonstrating this thing where you can play cards on, like, in specific ways. So, like, this murder card can only be played on units. If I play it on the ground, nothing will happen. If I play it on the unit, though, the unit will die. Um, Let me see if I can't cycle around to another teleporter. In the meantime, I guess, while I try to get another teleporter to show that off, I, over the weekend, ended up implementing a few different collectors for different resource types. So there's the DNA collector, which has the same model right now, but what it does is it collects DNA. There's the metal foundry, which collects metal, which is another one of the resources we're going to have in the game. And then there's a spirit collector, which collects spirit, which is the third resource that we're planning to have in the game. You can see over on the right that each of them has an icon that shows up next to the count that you have, except for the construction token, which currently I don't have a texture for, so it doesn't show up. I have another spawner now. So if I drop another spawner over here, I can, if I play a card here, they'll spawn on that teleporter. If I play it over there, they'll spawn on the far teleporter. If you play it all the way over there, they'll spawn on the far teleporter. Play it all the way over here, and they'll spawn on this teleporter. So it works as intended. They're able to spawn. You can spawn in more collectors, and it'll increase the amount of each resource that you have over here on the right-hand side. And the resources have the little icons. that's about all that really happened over the weekend. Not much. I maybe put in like an hour worth of work over the weekend. So moving on from that, there was one other small thing that I did over the weekend, which is just quality of life. And that's that a lot of the times we'd spend a lot of time attempting to debug issues that end up being the result of us just forgetting to compile the server, because the server has to be compiled manually, unlike the Unity project, which compiles automatically. So what we used to have to do is we'd have to go into our Visual Studio, we'd have to right click on the server project over here and hit build to build it. Um, Basically what I did is I just set up a system where whenever Unity attempts to compile code, after it finishes compiling the code, it'll attempt to build the server. And you can manually build it by clicking this button as well. And then a message will pop up saying, hey, it built the server. So that's just a nice quality of life thing that we have been wanting forever, but just never got around to. So I'm sure Ethan will be happy about that. Um, that's basically it for stuff that occurred over the weekend. So I'm going to move on to talking about what we're going to do over the next week, and then I think I'm going to call the stream there because there's not a whole lot to talk about. So basically, going forward for the rest of the week, Ethan's going to be continuing his work on the structure system. So he needs to make the teleporters generate cards. He's also going to add upgrades, so you can upgrade the teleporters and upgrade the resource generators. And that's basically what he's going to do for the rest of the week. I expect that to take the rest of the week because that's the upgrades especially are a bit complicated. What I'm planning to do for the rest of the week basically is I'm going to take care of a bunch of miscellaneous things that are still on our to-do list. So on this to-do list, there's not much, but there's another to-do list. So I need to add some import and export features for our editors. So we have this editor that lets you edit cards, and we just want to be able to import and export specific cards to prevent them from getting deleted on accident. We're also going to what else am I going to do? There's another issue that's noted in this to-do list where is it? Well, essentially you can't play multiple games in a row. Like if I were to finish a match and then return to the main menu, it wouldn't let me play another one. That one's going to take a little bit of figuring out because it's some sort of issue with resources not being deallocated. I'd imagine at least. There's maybe a few more audio things that need to happen, but those are very minor. And then any other miscellaneous bugs that we come across, I'm sure that we'll come across some bugs as we're doing things, and we'll end up wanting those. And while Ethan's focusing on the structure system, which is the last big system for our alpha MVP, I'll be just fixing up tiny bugs, and then hopefully by this time next week, we'll be moving into this planning phase where we start planning out a card set and designing cards, and then hopefully putting those together for the alpha MVP, which will be fun. Yeah, so I think that's about it. It's definitely a short stream, only about 10 minutes. I don't have anything else really left to talk about. So if you enjoyed and you want to support us, feel free to check out our Patreon. It's not on the bottom right of the screen this time because I'm using only my screen. But if you look in the description on Twitch and on YouTube, you can find our Patreon link if you want to support us financially. You can also, if you want to, give us a follow on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube. That would always help out. Just knowing that people are watching and are interested is like enough motivation to keep us going. Because right now, we're not super certain on that, but we're motivated to keep going. But having like people following and watching definitely is a good motivator. Feel free to check out any of our other social media links that are linked in the description. But yeah, that's about it. Appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully on Wednesday the stream will be a bit longer and it'll be a lot cooler. There will be more stuff to show off. Thanks for watching.